Hello to everyone tuning in. I'm Erin, and welcome to our session. When we encounter disasters, hazards, crises, pandemics, even, there is often so much damage and destruction to our environment, to our assets. There's a lot of loss of life, and we become extremely vulnerable when the life that we're familiar with gets disrupted, and the immediate future for us becomes really uncertain. So how do we navigate through all of these individually and collectively as a society? So I'm really privileged and happy to welcome our guest for this session, an amazing meditation teacher, best-selling author who has written wonderfully wise and inspiring books, Mingyur Rinpoche. So a very warm welcome to you, Rinpoche. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you, Erin, and welcome. Very happy to be a participant today.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Rinpoche, before we start, I have a little confession to make. We are going to discuss uncertainty today, and I was actually faced with quite a lot of uncertainty over the past few days because this is my very first time moderating a fireside chat and my very first time meeting you and speaking with you. And while I'm really grateful for this learning opportunity, I'm also feeling really nervous and anxious about doing this with you right now. So I think we are right on the topic of uncertainty.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. You know, based on the journey that you have shared in a lot of your writings, you have also experienced quite a bit of disruption and uncertainty in your life as a child and also through your adult years. So what was, one of the more unforgettable experiences of disruption or uncertainty for you, Rinpoche?
Yeah, I had panic attacks when I was young. Yeah, about 7, 8 years old, I had the panic attacks. But at the beginning, I'm not realized that I'm having the panic attacks. But then when I was 8 years old, that panic became very serious.
Yes. And what did you have to go through when you're experiencing these panic attacks?
I was kind of looking for many solutions. So I was born in the what we call Nobri, which is we have the 8th highest mountain in the world, what we call Manasilu. So I was born in the right bottom of the Manasilu. We have wonderful environment, but then panic, follow me everywhere. So sometimes I hike the mountain, all the way go up. Panic follow me up there, and we have deep forest below our valley. So I go down there, hide in the forest. Panic follow me there, and then I play with my colleagues, the friends. It doesn't help.
How did you get through it eventually, or did you get through it?
So then when I was 9 years old, and I shared this feeling, it's really, when the panic comes, I cannot sleep, kind of like burning from here. And I feel like I'm having some problem with the heart, cannot breathe. So I talked to my mom, and my mom said, oh, maybe you should learn meditation from your father. So my father was a great meditation teacher. So first I thought, maybe if my father said no, I will feel very bad. So I'm embarrassed to ask to my father. But one day my father said, oh, you want to learn meditation, right? I said, yes. Who told you? And then actually my mom asked my father without my permission. Then my father taught me about the meditation. So actually, there are 3 important things with the meditation. First is what we call view. View meaning the belief, to understand who you are. And second is how to work with the feeling. So what we call meditation, how to work with the experience. Third, what we call application. Application meaning then you need to apply in everyday life, kind of like again to practice that meditation.
This is very interesting, Rinpoche. You mentioned the first one is view, who you are. Could you teach us a little bit more about this? Because for a lot of people, this can be quite abstract. Like they may not know what it means just by hearing about that. Could you teach us more about that?
Yeah, the view meaning the fundamental belief, fundamental understanding about who we are. So normally what happens is when we have panic or depression, anxiety, stress, loss of esteem, various things, then in that moment, we become a little bit like hopeless. We kind of like give up. So the view, what I learned from the meditation tradition is we all have wonderful nature. So what we call basic innate goodness. So the first, what I connect with myself is I try to connect with awareness. So what we call, actually we all have awareness, love and compassion, wisdom, skills, capacity, potential. So actually our true nature is wonderful. So my father gave me example that in my hometown, we have wonderful sky. So there's no pollution there. But sometimes we have a lot of, storms in the winter, the snowstorm. You know, I'm really afraid of the snowstorm sometimes. Wind coming from north to the south and house sometimes shake. And the summer we have thunderstorm, a lot of lightning and the wind and a rain. So my father said, the storm is like panic. The storm is like thought, emotion, feeling, perception. Life is up and down, up and down, up and down. But our fundamental nature, the awareness, is like sky. This storm cannot change the nature of sky, no matter how big storm is, terrible is. Even the pollution cannot change the nature of sky. So what we need to do is we don't have to control anything, actually. We don't need to get rid of anything. We don't need to change anything. We just need to recognize our fundamental quality. So our fundamental quality here is awareness, and awareness is like sky.
So it's kind of like when you are practicing or when you're meditating, is it just simply resting with this sky-like awareness that you've taught us and to just watch the weather changing without being affected by the weather changes?
Yeah. So basically, we don't have to worry about affecting or not affecting. We just let storm come and go. But the important is we should not lose in the storm. So normally what happens is we don't see sky. We don't know even the sky exists there. So what we see, only storm. Then once we lost in the storm, then we need to have good storm, beautiful cloud with the rainbow. And we don't want to have the, storm with the lightning and the typhoon kind of like storm. So these make effect for us. But then if we know the sky is the background of all these things, we can stay with the sky and we don't need to fight with the storm. Storm doesn't change the sky anyway. So let them come, let them go. Yeah.
Let them come, let them go. Yes.
Yes.
And in a period of time like this, we're all going through COVID, the COVID-19 pandemic, and there is a lot of disruption for us. And a lot of us may find it difficult to even find time to practice. And maybe we are in a sort of a problem-solving mode. We're in a crisis. We have to do something. Maybe don't ask me to sit here and just watch myself. It's a waste of time when I could be, helping, when I could be solving things. So, Rinpoche, how do you feel about this? And what do you think?
Yeah. So normally, it's very important that we have this unlimited potential, we have amazing capacity. Our true nature is so wonderful. So try to understand that. Try to understand your true nature, the fundamental quality. So when we are facing the problem, actually, what we call don't give up, let go. So letting go is not giving up. Letting go meaning accepting the reality. Of course, right now we are having this pandemic around the world, and this is the truth. We cannot ignore this. Some of my friends got this, and some of them lost job, some of them sick, a lot of problem. We need to accept that. But at the same time, don't give up. So for me, for example, I cannot go anywhere beginning of this year until now, and I'm doing really careful here. I'm not ignoring this situation. But then at the same time, I look for many other possibility that I never had without this. I never had before, and without this pandemic, I will not have. So such as I really explore learning. So normally I read many philosophy books, meditation, kind of like uh, texts. So I learned this 20 years before and I kind of forget. So I go back and re-study this, learning this. I learned a lot. And also we have wonderful discussion with my friends and colleagues and family. And also I'm teaching here in my monastery. And also I'm doing my meditation practice, really good, doing semi-retreat, and I am giving teaching on online and benefit. I still can connect with many people. And plus I'm doing farming, like vegetable, organic, and eating healthy food, doing physical exercise. So a lot of things can happen. So important is don't give up. When we see one opportunity and that opportunity is gone, and normally we don't see other ways. So it's really important. There's a lot of doors. There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe one possibility is two. You cannot do much sometimes. We have to accept it. But there is so many ways. Yeah.
That is indeed very wise. And it's about looking for opportunities, right, for growth and looking in the conditions that we have, what opportunities are there for us to continue helping people, for us to continue improving ourselves. And when Rinpoche, you shared about going online and teaching online, we can relate to that because over here in Singapore, we're seeing many people, mental health is suffering from the pandemic, from COVID. And a lot of companies, a lot of organizations are engaging us to do wellness talks, wellness classes, to teach mindfulness. So suddenly everyone is also talking about practicing mindfulness. And Rinpoche, do you think mindfulness or mindful awareness, is this sort of the answer to what we're facing right now? Or is it the only answer? Is this for everybody?
I mean, this is one of the most important answer for now. So normally what we call awareness and mindfulness, same meaning here. And we have love and compassion, and we have wisdom, we have skills, so many things there with us. So I think that really important is first important is what we call view, that we need to begin to see that we have that capacity. And that capacity is kind of like unlimited, and actually it will not ultimate obstacle by anything. So even whatever comes in our life, we can take it as opportunity to learn from that problem, that obstacle, grow from there. And actually that is the really one of the best way normally to help us to learn, to grow, to become success eventually.
In times like these, a lot of people are also going through trauma, physical trauma or emotional trauma. So, what can we do, especially with something like mindfulness or awareness? What can we do, or how can we practice to overcome trauma, whether it's physical or emotional?
So normally in the meditation guidelines, the first, normally there are two steps of that. First, we need to connect with the awareness. So what is the awareness? So here, awareness and mindfulness, same thing. But in the meditation tradition, normally there are two kind of style. One is what we call the object oriented, meaning the object is important. So whatever meditation object is important, stay with that object, stay with the object. But another is the subject, meaning the mind, the awareness is important. So my style is the subject, the awareness is important. So to recognize awareness. So what is awareness? Awareness meaning knowing, that knows what we are thinking, what we are doing, what we are seeing, hearing, experiencing, feeling. Basically, it's consciousness, almost same as mind consciousness. But the problem is normally we don't know how to be with our own mind. We don't know how to be with the fundamental quality of our mind, which is the awareness, or sometimes what we call clarity, cognizing, the cognitive, sometimes what we call luminosity. Luminosity. Although we normally relate with the thought, emotion, feeling, perception, but these are the what we call mental event. So like ocean and wave, the wave is like thought, emotion, feeling, but the fundamental nature of the ocean is water. So water is awareness. So thought, emotion, feeling is like cloud, but the fundamental quality of the sky is sky itself. So that is like awareness. So connect with the awareness through thought, through emotion, through feeling. Right now you can see me, right? So that is awareness.
Yes.
And you can hear my voice, also awareness. And you are not unconscious, isn't it? So we are not unconscious now. So that means we are experiencing awareness. It's very simple at the beginning. So connect with that. And then after connect with awareness, then we have to do exercise that awareness with one object. So the common object is the breath. So we just to be aware of our breath, breathing in, breathing out, knowing that you're breathing in, knowing that you're breathing out. Very simple, just knows that you're breathing, that's all. So do that normally for few weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Whenever you feel stress, go back to breath. Whenever you feel anxiety, go back to breath. Whenever you feel unhappy, back to breath, back to breath. So that is the first step. Then eventually, we can be aware of our unpleasant feeling, maybe anxiety, depression, stress, low self-esteem. We just feel, be with that, just like being with the breath, same thing, be with that. So when we be with that, we don't need to control anything. We don't have to suppress that feeling. There's a lot of sensation, bodily sensation, maybe burning, like when I watch my panic, like burning fire here and tight around my chest, and like I can't breathe, and terrible image will come. Automatic voice, blah blah blah, yada yada, is dangerous, terrible, So the panic become three pieces: image, sensation, voice. Sometime behind there's a belief, become four, a lot of pieces. And sometime at the beginning look like you're getting worse. This is unbearable. But eventually, then you can recognize awareness through the panic. So awareness always present. And then what will disappear is the panic or panic, fear or panic, aversion or panic. That is the main problem for us. So panic become your friend. Support, just like your breath. Support for your awareness. Support for your mindfulness. And then we don't see panic as solid, big one anymore.
Yes, and I can just relate to this in my meditation this morning because I was feeling anxious about this session. And so I meditated for a longer period of time this morning, trying to just rest with my nervous feelings. And I was doing a body scan, and I noticed a lot of sensations in my tummy, in my stomach. And I realized that the sensations, like Rinpoche shared just now, also comes with a lot of thoughts. So a lot of doubts about myself, guessing what I could do wrong, what I could say wrong. And the moments that I'm aware of that, they sort of become much less in intensity, and it suddenly becomes a lot more bearable. Like I'm just watching them. Right. So, am I practicing in an effective way, do you think?
Yeah, very good. Exactly. So normally what I call panic is like shaving foam, sometimes when we do shaving foam, put the foam here, look like piece of rock when you look outside. But actually inside is full of bubble, it's empty. So panic is just like that. Not only panic, stress, depressed, a low self-esteem, lonely. All these are same thing. So when we face to this emotion, face to face with that emotion, maybe emotion disappear, eventually less. So for that, what I call horizontal liberation, meaning there's a gap between past and future. When you look at a sensation, eventually they become pieces, then we cannot really grab it, and there's some kind of empty. So for a while, so that is the gap between past feeling, thought gone, and next feeling cannot come. There's 1 or 2 seconds gap, horizontal. So that's one liberation. Second, what I call vertical. Vertical meaning eventually you can, maybe panic may not disappear, but you can able to see that. When you see that feeling of the panic, depression, stress, anxiety, whatever, then that become object of our meditation, just like breath. But at the same time, you're not lost in that. So for example, when you see the river, you're out of river. But there is river. River still continued, but you are not lost in the river. If you lost in the river, you don't see river. So normally we lost in the panic. We know there is panic, but we don't look at that. When we fall into the river, carried by river, we kind of, we know, we sense, but we don't see river. When we see river, that means we are out of river. So when we feel, when we see the panic, that means awareness become bigger than panic. Awareness become more than panic. So we are actually connecting with the sky, and we let cloud come in and go.
Yes, so it's sort of like, from what I understand, it's a little like creating or allowing for a space, right, between ourselves and this river, or it could be the river of emotions, the river of thoughts, the river of the sensations in the body, and immediately it just the intensity just drops. And yes, and Rinpoche, you also mentioned the horizontal liberation is between the past and the future. It's like there's a gap. So I recall that you've taught a lot about Bardo, which is something I'm very interested in learning more about. So, from what I understand is Bardo is like the intermediate, right? Or the in-between of life and death, of dying and rebirth. It could be also the gap between moments, right? Moments in our experience. So how could we, so this seems a little abstract. How could we apply this understanding to the world when we're living in a lot of disasters, a lot of crisis?
So bardo meaning, yes, in between moment, in between the transition, or in between up and down of the life. So normally what we call life is like wave of the ocean. So always go up and down. Or now what I make the modern example is life is like stock market, go up and down.
Yes.
But because stock market go up and down, this is why people do business. If the stock market flat, always like that, then there's no business. So actually, up and down of the life is help us to grow, to learn, to transform, to discover ourselves. So when the down moment of the life, when we have the down moment of life, in the end, there's a gap because our normal belief, the habit, the feeling is disrupted. There's some kind of like what we call dying all habit, all belief, all feelings. And then hasn't formed new belief, feeling, habit, emotion, whatever yet. So in between there's a really wonderful moment. That moment is really close to our true nature, our fundamental nature. The important thing is don't give up. Accept that moment. Be with that moment. And then try to learn from there, grow from there, and to see what things there with you, what opportunities is there, what possibilities are there. So when we connect that with the awareness or compassion or wisdom, whatever you have, then that moment help us really transform. And that moment really help us to go beyond our normal comfort zone, or sometimes what we call cocoon. It will break our cocoon, and we can really grow bigger and transform ourselves.
And so all these sounds, very helpful when we practice it on an individual level. So individually, we can all play a part by practicing more mindfulness, mindful awareness, especially in times of chaos. And what advice do you have for us as a community or as a society? Because we function like that. And, sometimes there are leaders of certain communities wondering what they could do, how they could apply mindfulness, not just to themselves, but also to the group that they are taking care of, the group that they're looking after. So do you have some thoughts or some advice for a collective practice?
Yes, so I think community of mindfulness practitioners are really important. What we call the community can store the experience of view and the meditation. So it's kind of like you can download program in your computer, right? So sometimes you can download this. So community has power of contagious, like virus now contagious everywhere. That's the negative way. But at the same time, that's positive contagious. So that will store in the community. So if, of course, this is a really individual who choose whatever they want to do, but if they meditate together time to time, practice together, and also do some discussions together about sharing what they learn, what they hear, what they understood, and special when we are having problem in our life. So let's say maybe problem with the job, problem with the business, problem with your family, and you have the anxiety, you have whatever, and how you work with that, and what everybody else work with that. So discussion like that is really good. Practice together, discussion, and listen to each other in the community. So these are what we call application. Apply, of course, your individual life or your community life. So view, meditation, application, three together become very powerful.
Yes, and Rinpoche, you mentioned about listening to each other. And, in times like these, when everyone is trying to problem solve and improve, life as a whole, there are also a lot of differing opinions, differing perspectives. And of course, there will be conflicts as a result. So how can we practice listening or mindful listening? Do you have any advice for us?
I think one of the really important is the people need to feel that the other person heard of their voices, the whatever opinion. It may not too much worry about everybody need to follow their whatever their opinion. So it's really important also whatever we do in our life, we need to do at the beginning to talk to the expertise, to really discussion with the one who have experience. But at the same time, we need to let everybody include, let that discussion and to hear what others' point of view. And then we try our best at the same time. So of course, sometime when we make two decision, there's no one decision that 100% perfect. That is impossible. But then we just try our best to make one decision and follow that. So individual life, in the company, workplace, in social, everywhere is same.
Thank you, Rinpoche. And we're facing so much right now, disruption, uncertainty. So what do you think are, the real lessons that we are supposed to learn from all this that is happening to the world right now?
I think real lesson is we need to learn is we have really amazing capacity to kind of like to grow, to learn whatever things, obstacles, problem come to our life. We should not deny it, we accept it, but don't give up. And there's a great potential within ourselves. So I think this is a really important kind of like message for me. And that really helps for my life. Normally what I call my panic is my best friend and my teacher. So I learn a lot from my panic and grow a lot from my panic.
And that is to befriend whatever that, befriend our suffering, befriend what is being difficult to us.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you, Rinpoche. So maybe one last question. Is there any one piece of advice that you would give to us in terms of practicing mindfulness? Just one piece, one takeaway advice from this session.
Okay, with the meditation or with the view or both?
It can be anything.
Yeah, so from the view, I think maybe what we can do is normally what we call, if we have 10 qualities within us, 9 positive, 1 negative, and we look at the only 1 negative one and exaggerate that one, and we denied 9 good qualities within us. So therefore, to reverse that, important is we should do practice of appreciation, gratitude. So maybe every day, try to write down, if you can, 5 things or maybe 3 things to appreciate. Simple things. Oh, today, I had meal, or I'm still alive. Wonderful. I'm having this breath. Wonderful. I have few friends, family. Wonderful. I wash my dishes. Wonderful. So appreciate, gratitude. Write down every day. So at the beginning, difficult to find, but in the end, it's a lot. And you feel like, 5 is not enough. But I think you can stay more steady. And if you think 5 not enough, don't write too much also. Try to change today about yourself, and tomorrow about your friends and family, and next day about the world. So then eventually what you will see is full of opportunities, goodness, full of potential skills there.
And so it's not just about looking at the good of ourselves, it's also learning to look at the good of others, the people around us as well.
Yeah. About yourself, about others, about the world also.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. Thank you. This has been very insightful for us and very helpful for us. And as a closing to our session, I would like to invite Rinpoche to lead us in a short meditation, perhaps about 15 minutes or so. Would that be okay, Rinpoche?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so over to you, Rinpoche.
Okay. So the meditation, so what we call view meditation application. So the meditation is how to bring the view into the experience, into the feeling, into the being. So meditation is really important. So the essence of meditation is what we call awareness. And awareness meaning knowing. Knows what you are doing, what you are feeling, what you see, what you are experiencing. So that is the awareness. So at the beginning, there are two steps. First, we need to kind of like exercise to connect with awareness through one object. So now what I'm going to do is connect with the breath. So breath is quite easy object, and you all have breath.
Yes.
So we all have breath 24 hours.
Yes.
So first of all, I like to ask you a question. Are you breathing now? If yes, raise your hand. Of course, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is the breathing meditation. So finish.
Are we done? Is that it?
Kind of joke. But actually, yeah, that's it. So knowing that you're breathing, or feel that you're breathing, being with your breathing, that's all. That is the breathing meditation. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to say, don't think of anything, only breath. Not necessary, because when you say don't think of anything, you will think of others more. Like when you say don't think of pizza, don't think of pizza, what happened? You will think of pizza more. So whatever pizza or thought come to you, let them come. But important is whether you still remember your breath or not. So keep remember your breath. So that is the breathing meditation. So we will practice this together. So for the breathing meditation, two things important. First, physical body posture. So first important is keep our spine loosely straight, not like this tight, not like this,
Yes.
Sometimes I'm traveling many places, and in Asia, we do like this. And sometimes in the West. So, so we don't have to do those, just be natural. So loosely keep your spine straight and be natural. And you can put your hand on your lap, join hand together, or put on your knees, cover your knees. And now please close your eyes. And first important is just feel your body and relax muscles in your body. Relax muscles in your head, face, shoulders, back, chest, stomach, arms and legs. And when I say relax, that means it doesn't matter whether you really relax or not. If you cannot relax, then allow that tightness, tension. So the essence of meditation is awareness, being with the tense, allowing the tightness, also awareness. So when you allow that you cannot relax, that means you are relaxing. So it doesn't matter whether you relax or not. It doesn't matter whether you're doing right or wrong. Don't care. Just be with yourself and be with your body. And now, please be with your breath. You can have natural breathing. And maybe some of you have deep breathing. Some of you might have shallow breathing or irregular breathing, peaceful breathing, unpleasant breathing. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have, be with that. And you can breathe from your nose, mouth, both. It doesn't matter. And while we are trying to be with our breath, sometimes there's a lot of thought, image, sensation may come. Blah, 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 yada, 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 you know. It's okay. Let them come, let them go. Important is try to remember your breath. Remember your breathing in, breathing out. But of course, you cannot be with your breath a long time. Your mind has only few seconds. Normally, the attention is not so long, just glimpse. So it's okay. Be with a glimpse of your breath. And normally, we need to practice this for a few weeks, being with the breath. Then eventually we can be with our sensation in the body. When we experience unpleasant stress, anxiety, hatred, or whatever strong emotion or negative thought, we can be with the sensation in our body. And if you are ready to do that now, we can do together. If you are new, you feel like you're not ready, and you can continue to be with the breath. So sensation is just like body scanning. You can be aware of sensation, begin from the head to face, neck, shoulder, back, chest. And normally there are a lot of sensation in the stomach. So be with the sensation in the stomach for a while. And arms and legs. You don't need to control the sensation. No need to get rid of the sensation. Just be, just like breath. Whatever breath you have, be with that. The same thing here. Whatever sensation you experience, be with that. If the sensation disappears, there's a gap, what I call horizontal liberation. If the sensation not disappear, you can be with the sensation, and that is what we call vertical liberation. Like when you see the river, you're out of river. So when you see the sensation, you're out of sensation, but the sensation is still there. You're not lost in the sensation. Sensation become your friend, become object of meditation, just like breath. Okay, now slowly open your eyes and be with your mind as it is for a few seconds. Okay, so finish the meditation practice together.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. That was very beautiful guiding, and I think a lot of us found that very helpful. So maybe one last parting question about the practice itself, because I think a lot of people would be inspired to practice. How often should we do this for beginners?
What we call recommend is at the beginning do a little. So maybe 5 minutes or 3 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. But important is consistency. So try to do that at least 3 weeks. So after 3 weeks or 1 month, then we will have a habit. It will go into your deeper level of mind and go into your body, into your nerve. Then after that, it become more easy. So to build that habit, at least 3 to 1 month at the beginning.
Okay, so never give up, right, Rinpoche?
Yeah, so never give up and try to apply. So that is what we call application. Apply in your life.
All right, thank you so much, Rinpoche, for sharing so much with us, for teaching us, and for guiding us. And thank you for joining us today. We're very grateful to have your presence today. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes, most welcome and thank you. And I'm very happy that participate this. Thank you.